it's a full body experience. So it's not just a thought or a feeling. I'm silly or I'm clumsy or whatever words people use. It's a full body experience.
Okay.
Like when the I'm silly appears, it's like I get butterflies and I feel it in the depths of my being. So it's not just words. It's almost like part of the fabric, or it's been embedded as part of the fabric of who I am. Originally, I thought it was just words, right? So I kept doing positive affirmations and doing some of that other stuff. But then through this cleansing period, I realized that it's actually part of the fabric of my being. That's how deeply embedded it is. So now I'm removing that out of the fabric of my being.
Welcome to Galactic Guidance, the show that channels the wisdom of beings from higher realms. Join us as we tap into the cosmic consciousness and receive messages of clear guidance to help us navigate our spiritual evolution on planet Earth. So sit back, relax, and let's connect into the higher frequency. Hello, beautiful people. This is Eleni and Marcus for another episode of Galactic Guidance. I'm really excited to speak to Ahmed, who Marcus channels, who is a higher dimensional being. And we're going to be talking about the human body and how we can aid the human body during this time to be at its optimal level. So things like fasting or whatever else Ahmed comes up with. So I'm very excited to do that with our conduit here, which is Marcus. Hello, Marcus.
Hey, Eleni. How are you going?
I'm very good. So I didn't tell you about the topic as usual. I just
No,
pulled it out.
that's
So
it.
just if you're listening out there, Marcus did not know what this topic was going to be about today that we're going to be
No.
speaking about. He prefers not to know so that it's a clear channel. And
Yes,
yay. So whenever you're
absolutely.
ready, Marcus, to
Whenever
go
you're
into your
ready.
state.
Ready for the next beautiful installment, hey?
Yeah.
So let's do that. All right.
So what Marcus is doing now is connecting in to a high dimensional being who resides on an advanced planet in the Lyra star system called Ahmed. And if you want to know about how Marcus is doing this, you're going to go back to the first episode where he explains the whole story. Marcus has been doing this now for a good 3 decades, and every single week we talk to Ahmed, and it's the most fascinating conversation. So you need to listen on.
There's much of the joyness that we are being in of this presence. This is much of the sacredness in the moment. We must always bring of the reminding of the sacredness of these of the moments, of the connection that we have here of the miscellany. And we notice that you have interesting of the energetic quality in this of the moment. We sense that this of the process that you have been of the engaging within has been of a slight of a destabilisation. We wish to share some of the information with you on how to be of the most effectiveness so that you can be of the conduit to receive more of the information. Much of what you be of the doingness is to be of the clarity, to be of the clearing, to be of the what you be calling of the cleansing, to be able to be of the receiving and of the conduit of the cosmic information that is of the streaming down onto the planet in this of the moments. There is much of a cosmic information that is being of the streaming into and onto of the planet to help be of the awakening, to help to be of the activation of your evolutionary of the greater awareness of the reality of the universal construct and of your place in this march of the magnificence in the unfolding of the conscious universal construct.
Oh, I can't wait to hear more. So yes, just to give you some context, Ahmed, I have. You're absolutely right. The reason that I have done this water fast, which means only water for the last 5 days and 5 nights, actually 5.5. Prior to that, it was juices and fruit, and now I'm back on the fruit for a couple of days before I have some small meals. Was to regenerate the body, and it was to clear out any toxic elements that reside in the body, and also reduce the probability of any type of disease. As I'm feeling like, as we move along this evolutionary path, the body, which houses my soul, needs to be in good condition. And I know that the last 6 months I have been eating and consuming a lot of sugar. And so I've decided to clean out, declutter the body, and get ready for whatever comes my way. But so far, I've just finished the water fast this morning. It's not clarity that's coming to me, it's more like brain fogginess. So I'm very interested to hear about your perspective on water fasts. Is this something that is good for us humans to do?
This is part of the goodness of the question, and what you are being of the experiencing is the destabilization that has been of the occurring, because there is one much of the specific, much of the important aspect that we wish to be of the sharing with you about the activity that you are being of the participation within, and the construct and the conscious awareness that you are being of the bringing to this is much of yes, what you would consider of the correct thing to be in the doingness of, to be of the clearing any disharmonic resonant frequencies that are being of the existing within of the physical, is much of the importance, because we wish for you to be much more of the clearness in the channeling process. We have been of the mentioning before to Miss Oleni that it is time to be of the visiting of your planetary home, if you be connecting with, but then also to be in the of the channeling space to connect into of your what you call of the mentor, of your interdimensional mentor, to be of the assistance to help you to be of the sharing this with much more of the world. We are wishing for this to assist all of you in the expansion into the next dimension of reality, and with more of the wisdom, with more of the connection, with more of the interface of dimensional of the reality, you can begin to expand of the exponentialness and be of the activation of the true nature of who you are. In this construct, you have created of the cleansingness. You have been of the removing of some of what you call of the toxins, but the leftovers now of the destabilized state. And so of the importance now is to bring yourself back into of the stabilized state. And this is a process that we wish to be sharing, whereby you can be calling in of the cosmic nutrition that you require to be in of the stable state. This is not just of the foodness nutrition that you'd be talking of. This is not just of the chemical compounds that are being of the creating of the nutrition at a physical level, but much more of a cosmic nutrition, where you can be connecting into the energetic quality of what you are requiring, what the physicality is requiring to be able to remain in of the stable state of existence. What you be of the doing in of these, what you call of the fasting, is that you are creating a destabilization, because you are activating to be of the cleansing, the destabilized energetic constructs. Well, you are be calling this of the these destabilized energies. You are calling of the toxins, and it is of the correctness to be of the removing of the toxins. Anything that is of the creating destabilized states, where you are being of the interfered with to connect into of the cosmic wisdom, the cosmic knowledge, connecting into the activation of the fullness of the self, is much of the bestness to be of the eliminated, and thereby this is a good construct to be active in. But as you are being able to be active in this process, we would be of the requesting you calling in of the cosmic nutrition. Here you be tuning in on the body, tuning in on the physicality, and be calling in the aspects that the physical body is requiring as you are going through of this cleansing. There are many aspects in dimensional space and time. There is much cosmic nutrition that is existing in an energetic state form, in a frequency state form. What you will be finding is that when you are expanding into much more of the dimensions, if you were to be on the visiting our construct and the way we are being operated with our what you would be calling of the physical nature of our existence, is that we don't need to be of the consumption of the food aspect that you are in the consumption of, because we have the ability to call in on the cosmic nutrition and to be able to feed every aspect of ourselves through the energetic construct of the universal space. So we can be calling in on the chemical nature that we require for each of what you would be calling of the cellular construct. This is not necessarily the truth of our existence. We are much more in a silicon form of existence, not a carbon form of existence. Therefore, it is much more possible to be in flow with the energetic construct of the universe. Therefore, as you begin to enter into this sphere and become more connected to the universal construct, this energetic construct that we are be speaking of, you will be becoming more of a silicon nature of the being, because that allows much more of the flow. Therefore, you can what you might understand, you can feed of yourself through of the skin. You don't need to be feeding of yourself through of the mouthness. You can be feeding of yourself through of the skinness. This is the image that we wish to be sharing with you. This is not exactly of the truthness, but this is what you would be able to be of the understanding. Therefore, you can be calling in, you can be drawing into your physical aspect of your body through of the skinness, and remembering you are drawing in resonant frequencies that are the physicality is of the requiring. You have had on your planet, you have a number of the people who have been of the surviving through of the breathingness, through of the waterness, and not necessarily being of the consumption of you're of the foodness. And this is because they are drawing in of the energetics, the chemical construct through of the cosmic and universal space. You must remember that everything that is of the existing is of the existing. So when you have of the growing of a plantness, you might be asking yourself, but where does all of the plantness come from? Where does the chemicals, the construct come from? And if you are to be following of the threadness, if you were to be following of the line that is the thread, then you'll be realizing that eventually you come back to the universe, that everything that is in existence once was existing in of an energetic construct state. Therefore, we have been able to, because of our evolutionary process, to be able to be feeding ourselves through of the skinness by drawing from the universe every aspect of the that is of the requirement to nurture, to keep of the physical construct in the aliveness state. Therefore, when you are doing of this fasting, and in the miscellany of your caseness, the waterness fasting, we would then be requesting that as you be of the meditative space, that you call in from the cosmic space any aspect, any chemical, any nutritional of the qualityness that you are requiring in this moment to be transferred into you from of the energetic space, from the interdimensional spaceness. In this way, what you will be finding is that you will be feeling much more of the clarity. You'll be feeling much more of the connected. You'll be feeling much more of the stabilization throughout of the process. This is much of an important aspect of this reality for you.
Okay, so I will do that. Call in cosmic nutrition, whatever it is that my body needs when I'm meditating. I have
Mm,
not done that. But
mm,
in terms of fasting itself, particularly water fasting, is this something that you think is a positive thing for humans to do? And when
mm.
they do call in the cosmic nutrition as well, is this something that they need to do, or you think it's fine, they don't need to do that?
This is much of a interesting of the question because much of the importance is to be of the tuning into of your resonant frequency to be of the sureness that this is something that is going to be of the most positive beneficial effect for you. This is not necessarily the bestest, mostest, amazingest thing for every person. This is just maybe effective and of the goodness for some of the people. You must be of the tuning in to feel into what is of the bestness for my construct, what is the bestness for what I am attempting to be of the achieving. And with any of these activities that you are being of the involvement in, you are trying to be of the clearer of the channel. You are much trying to be of the releasing of the disharmonic resonant frequencies that are being contained, that are being in the trapness of your physicality. But this is also of the truthness for your of the mindscape. You must be also in the process of clearing out the toxic of the thoughts in the mindscape. And this is also true of the heartscape. You must be in the process of the clearing out of the emotional toxins that are being of the building up. At the end of this other process, this is about checking in on the build-up of the disharmonic resonant frequencies that are then being in the interfering of you being in the expansion process of your evolutionary nature. Every of these aspects is about the consciousness expansion, the evolutionary jump into the next dimension of the reality scape. This is what we are here to be of the assistance with. This is what part of your function is, being here in this of the theme park. Your assistance here is to be in the forgetfulness. Your assistance here is then to be of the remembering. Your assistance here is then to be of the expanding through the activation of your cosmic conscious state. This then has a ripple of the effectiveness of being able to push the consciousness out into of the universe and therefore continue the expansive nature of the universal construct. We understand we are being much of the simplistic nature in this process, and it may not be of the making senseness that, oh, is this all we are being of the doing, Ahmed? Are we just pushing out of the consciousness throughout the universe? But you must be understanding the interdimensional, transdimensional nature of this process. In this of the timescaping of your species evolution, you are not giving much of the credibility to of the conscious state. You are not being of the understanding just of the powerness that is created and is contained within the consciousness. This is one of the most powerful aspects of the universal species, is the conscious state. You can be doing so much with of the consciousness. We're here to assist you to be connecting into and to be accessing of the powerness of the consciousness state. This is much of the importance. So when you are doing of this, of the what you call of the fasting, you are attempting to be clearing out any of the disharmonic resonant patterns that reside within the physicality of itselfness. In essence, you are tapping into the cellular nature of your existence. You are removing any of the disharmonic resonant frequencies that are causing of the cellular structure to be of the mutation, to be of the operating at a different resonant frequency than what that it is most activated self operating at. So these are the toxins that embed themselves within the physical nature of the existence are going to play a role in of the affecting your harmonic resonant frequency, which would be of the translation into the fullness of who you are being, the truth of who you are. These are some of the words that you might be of the understanding. And every of the when every part of your being is resonating at the fullness of that being, then you can be stepping into much more expanded version of the selfness. So as you are doing of the physicality, we would be inviting you to be doing of the heartscape, be doing of the mindscape, maybe not of the same timeness, but being able to do this from time of the time and giving focus to each of these aspects of the human experience to be cleansing and reharmonizing and to be of the removing of the disharmonic resonant frequencies. But be of the remembering when you are doing of the physicality that you can be calling in of the nutritional quality that you're requiring. So that you are still of the feedingness of the cellular structure, because as of the toxins are being of the removed, as the disharmonic frequencies are being removed, what you will be finding is the cellular structure of the physicality will be requiring harmonic resonant frequencies to be of the replacing. And as you be of the depletion, then the physical, the cellular structure finds it difficult to realign itself back into the resonance. So if you are being of the feeding of the cellular structure in and with those harmonic resonant frequencies, and from a purely of the physical nature, when you are feeding of yourself aliveness, when you are feeding of yourself what you call of the high quality nutritional foods, you will be seeing that your cells can maintain, can return to, and can activate the fullness of the resonant harmonic frequency structure. So as you are doing of the physicality, just be calling in of the, what we be calling of the cosmic nutrition, so that you can assist the cells to not only just to be of the expellingness, but to also be of the reactivation back into a more harmonic state of existence. Does this be of the making of the senseness, Miss Eleni?
Yes. So what I heard you say is that there's three things to consider here. It's the mind, the heart, and the body. And we need to
Mm,
detoxify all these three areas. If we do choose to fast the
mm,
body, we need to call in cosmic nutrition. But you
mm,
did also say that some people, don't need to do fasting.
mm,
It's not for them. So what would you suggest that, we do to continue
mm.
to clear the body part?
What would be of the inviting in is what we are think of being, this is much of the funniness, but of the tsunami of the liveness. We would be requesting that you be playing in the tsunami of the liveness. In this way, what you are being of the doing is you are cleansing of the bodiness. You are removing of the disharmonic resonant frequencies by placing a tsunami, like of the bigness of aliveness of the food construct. So you would be, how would we be of the saying? You'd be like you are wading in of the poolness, and you are on a very much of the hot day, and you are thinking to yourself, I want to be of the coolness. Well, you could be sitting of there by the pool with the standing in of the pool at your legs, at the lower of the legs, and you could be reaching down and be splashing of the water on of your body, and that will help you to be of the little coolness. But this will not help you to be fully of the coolness, because when you are of the hotness, you are feeling of the tiredness, you are feeling of the drainedness, and what you are actually being of the experiencing is disharmonic resonant frequencies. But if you were to jump into of the coolness and feel of the coolness of the water, you would be saying, Amit, I feel just, I feel of the aliveness, I feel of the freeness, I feel of the harmonicness. So when you are doing of the tsunami of the liveness of the food aspect, this is what you are doing. It is like you are being of the jumping into of the pool. You are washing of the aliveness, which is a representation of the harmonic resonant frequencies. This then assists in of the removal of the toxic of the frequencies, of the disharmonic frequencies, but at the same time, it is being of the washing over of the harmonic resonant frequencies that assist the cells to remember how to be of the cellness and to activate their muchness of the harmonic resonant frequency. So this is of another of the options.
I love it. So,
Mm,
one last question I'd like to ask you. Very early on, you said that, the time has come for me to connect. to my mentor,
Mm.
what would you suggest that I do at this point?
This of the removal of the toxicness is much going to be of the helpfulness. Then you must be in the preparation of just being in the receiving. You are already receiving of the frequency. The frequency is of the what you might be considering the information is being of the shared. The frequencies are being of the shared in this moment. Then you must be being of the receiving. This is sometimes of the tuningness, where you are being of the tuning of your resonant frequency, be tuning into the field, be shifting, moving of your resonant vibration nature until you start to hear of the physicality of the words and of the information that is being of the coming through. What you must understand is that your mentor is already being of the talking with you. The mentor is already sending you of the messages, sending you of the information, and some of this information does be coming of the appearing as an insight or as a moment where you have new information appear in your thoughtscape, in your mindscape, and you be saying to yourself, oh, I wonder where that knowledge or that of the wisdom came, or that is much of the cleverness. Oh, I am very clever today. But you must understand that this information is sometimes being of the shared information from of your mentor. And so you are catching some of this resonant information that is being shared into you. Now it is of the time for you to tune into that resonant frequency and to be able to be of the hearingness, to be able to be of the receptivity of the information that is already being sent to you. This is just of a process of just tuning in your mindscape, tuning in your heartscape, tuning in your guardscape to be sensing this information. Some of the ways that people are be of the connecting to this is to be of the automatic writing. This is sometimes of a good way to be of the connecting, and sometimes it is through of the meditative process. Sometimes it is of the imagination process. There are many different ways that this begins to be of the activated. In your case, Miss Eleni, we just wish for you to be of the letting go. We wish for you to be of the mindscape that you are already receiving, and that you are being of the knowing of this. The first stage for you, if you be of the remembering, is that we had to be of the assistance for you to be of the slowing downness. When you are of the mindscape is being of the rushiness, and of the much of the busyness, you cannot be ever in the possibility of hearing of these messages. So the first of the steps was for you to be of the slowing of the downness. And this of the slowing of the downness is not just in of the physical activities, but in of the desire to make it to be of the happening right in this of the moment. We do remember, and this is much of the funness, was you are making, I want it to be of the happening right in the nowness. We remember you talking to of the channel, and you'll be saying, Marcus, I want it to be happening of the nowness. And there was much of the impatientness. And as we be of the observing, we are much of the smileness, because we see many of you being of the impatientness. We see many of you then connecting of the impatientness to of the heartscape, where you are thinking that you are not much of the goodness, that you are of the silliness, and that there may be not of this for you, and that you are not able to do this. But this is not of the truthness. This is part of being connected into the universal of the family of light. You are much part of that. There is no of the parts of you that are not connected to that. So therefore, you must be able to connect in on this level and to be of the receiving. And each one of you has this opportunity. There is much assignment that has been gifted from us to each of the species in of the universe. There are many of the species that have been in this universe for much of the longness. Therefore, there is much of the growth and the expansion that has been of the happening. And when you get to of that stage, you will realize what you wish to be of the doing is of the giving back and to be of the sharing. We are living in a state that you be calling of the ecstasy. This is a normal of the state of the beingness. There is not any aspect where we have to try to be going out and having of the funness and be having of the ecstasy. We are being living in that space. And as you be of the expanding, this is what you will be of the understanding, and you will be of the receiving, that you will begin to be living more of in the ecstasy of the space. This is just of the best word we can be of the finding. But it is much more than that. You will be of the oneness. You will be of the wholeness. You will be much more living in of the joyness, much of all of the timeness. This is where this is coming to, and we wish everyone in of the universe to be in this of the state, because this is the ultimate of the consciousness of the connection and of the expansive quality. We must be of the assisting you to be in this of the state. Therefore, if you are being of the letting of the goness, just being of the space of receptivity, and you can tune into what this receptivity through the clearing of the mindscape, through the clearing of the heartscape, and through being in of the Dantian space and just dropping into of the connection. This is not very much of the far off. You must be of the understanding, Miss Eleni, that this is in of the happening in this of the moment. You are in of the receptivity and of the receiving. You must be of the letting go of the heartscape that is finding of the difficulty to be of the believingness. There is much of a desire that is within you that wants this to be of the happening in the fastness, but you must be in of the breathing and must be in the allowingness. This is of the happening. It is already of the happening. And the much of the keenness is that it's important to be of the nothingness, to be in the void space, and just be of the allowingness. There is much for you to be of the remembering, to be of the receiving, to being of the reactivation, so you can be of the sharing. When this of the moment is being of the happening, then you can be of the channelers, like we are being of the sharing here with your of the channel. And then we can be of the speaking. Me can be of the speaking. I can be of the speaking with your of the channel being. In this of the format, not in of the universal construct where we can be of the communicating, but in of this of the forum format, so that the others can be of the hearing, and then there will be much of the excitement. You will see much of the dynamic that will allow more of the information to come and more of the peoples to be of the understanding of this information. This is much of the excitement.
Yes, it is so much excitement. I'm very excited at everything you've just said. Thank you so much, Amid, for your beautiful wise counsel.
Much of the blessingness, much of the loves. We are much of the joyness that we are able to be in of this sacred moment, to be of the sharingness, to be of the assistance and of the supportness. This is much what we have been coming here to be of the doingness. This is much of our roleness in the universal construct. We are much of the loveness and much of the loveness. There is much beautiful energy in this of the spaceness. We wish for you to be feeling in on this of the energies. Not so much of the wordness, but much of the energies. This is what we wish for you to be of the receiving. You are much loved, and much of the blessedness.
Thank you. All right, so I was asking Amit about, what we need to do to clear the body of toxins so that we can have a body that moves with the evolution of consciousness.
Yeah, totally.
And what I didn't do, which she said that I need to do, because it's really this fasting that I've done recently, it's really probably the
Sounds
hardest
big.
fast I've ever done, and it's really
Yeah.
made me really sick and
Yeah.
not steady on my feet. And so what I mean
Yeah.
said is that I need to call in cosmic nutrition,
Right.
so that it permeates in the body. But
Yeah.
for people listening out there, so the points that I will summarize is that Amit said that if you choose to do a water fast or any type of fast, you call in the cosmic nutrition so that your body can be assisted
I
during.
suppose supported, right? Supported through that, sometimes extreme, right? Well, it can be quite extreme for the body if you've never done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, or you don't do it, that often. It can feel extreme.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amit also said that it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
So you need to really have a calling. I had a calling to do it. I was
yeah,
resisting it, to be honest, and
yeah,
didn't want
right.
to do it. Like I've
Yeah,
done water fasts before, and it's like I just don't want to do it. But
really.
I just had this calling every time I meditated, and then
Yeah.
it started appearing in my world, people doing it, and then I knew that I needed
You
to
got to
do
follow
it.
it, right? Just
And
got to follow it. It's
I
fine.
was listening to what Ahmed had said so many times about
Yeah,
resistance.
yeah,
So not doing it was a form of resistance. So I felt like I
totally.
had to do it, but
Yeah,
didn't know about calling in the cosmic nutrition.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to hear something funny? I have just started doing a sort of that, but more with just lots of live food, right? So my constitution, I don't think is a good idea to do what you did, right? I'm very much a grazing sort of person. Like I'm constantly, I'll have,
Thank you.
eating things, right? Well, yeah, maybe too. Maybe it is a good thing I do. I don't know, but I tend to, yeah, I'm doing something not dissimilar, but in the other way, where I'm just trying to eat lots of live like foods.
How's that going for you? Because I know that,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, it's only been a couple of days, so I'm, yeah. I mean, it's a little tricky. I fasted today because I've just started in this new space, so I didn't actually have time to make myself something. So I just did a little fast today, which I do from time to time. And then tonight I'll, bulk up in that.
Wow, isn't that
And
funny
yeah, I
that we're
know.
doing it today?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of this requirement this year, especially for us to be doing this sort of stuff. Just removing the toxic and owning ourselves again in a way.
Mm.
And I think it's important not just to do a physical one, but also mental and emotional. And last weekend I was away for 5 days in the middle of the bush, 2 hours away from any phone connection or internet connection, and I spend a lot of time doing that cleansing, the head and the heart cleansing, right? Where I'm just removing any of those silliness, toxic thoughts and feelings and beliefs and all that, some of that old stuff. And I anchored into, or I found one very big one that I knew about, but I didn't know it was as big as it was, right? And
Can you share
so
it?
with the words that play out, and I'll share a little bit of it. The words that play out is the "I'm silly." So there's this underlying deep resonance that I'm silly, right? Um, and I know that. See, I'm even going to say it. I'm going to say, well, I know that sounds silly. I'm not going to say that because it's a full body experience. So it's not just a thought or a feeling. I'm silly or I'm clumsy or whatever words people use. It's a full body experience.
Okay.
Like when the I'm silly appears, it's like I get butterflies and I feel it in the depths of my being. So it's not just words. It's almost like part of the fabric, or it's been embedded as part of the fabric of who I am. Originally, I thought it was just words, right? So I kept doing
Mhm.
positive affirmations and doing some of that other stuff. But then through this cleansing period, I realized that it's actually part of the fabric of my being. That's how deeply embedded it is. So now I'm removing that out of the fabric of my being. And
And
it's
how are you doing that?
unbelievably refreshing. It's amazing.
How are
It's
you doing
amazing. Um, how am I doing that? So I've been connecting in at a soul aspect, and to replace it, I've been connecting in with a deeper fabric of my body, right? So, so the I'm silly, right, has become part of the fabric of my being, but it can never be at the depth, the deepest level. So there's always something under that because the truth of who we are is not silly, that we're these beautiful beings of light, right? So even if the I'm silly or whatever yours is, I'm stupid or whatever the words are for you, that can embed at the the aspect and embed in your being, but there's always something below that. So what I've then done is I've identified, well, what's below that? What's the deeper truth? And then I've almost like smashed that fabric with this fabric. So it's almost like I pushed it out and shattered it. And it's kind of funny how this happened. I did a big removal yesterday on this, and I had a very good friend of mine assist me with this. And of course, as happens, the universe brought something onto my phone this morning that would normally trigger it. Almost like this beautiful cosmic test.
Of course.
And I had no physical reaction to it whatsoever. No physical reaction. Whereas before, that's right. Whereas before I would have got butterflies, or I would have, do you know when you have those deep resonant feelings of dread or something? I would have had that. But I had nothing.
Fantastic.
Right? I still had a bit of a head opinion about what was sent, but I didn't have a full body reaction to it. I just went, sure, whatever. So that was like a confirmation that, yeah, I've budged it. I've moved it.
Well done.
Which is kind of exciting. And then at the same time, I moved into this place that same day, and it was like all this sort of this newness played out beautifully. So it's like amazing.
You've stepped up to the next level.
Totally.
And your new place, which is your background that we can see here, is like a symbol of that.
Totally. It's like a symbol of it. So I just love how it all works, you know. So the next thing will come from you once you get through this little bit. That will open up, whatever that is, right? And maybe it's that connection. It's coming.
Well, that's what Amit said. And did you actually hear what she said about that in reference to this show?
No. Did she say something in reference to the show? No.
Yeah, she said that once I connect in, the conversation between me and you is going to be very exciting for people. Right. Because then I'm actually channeling back.
So then it'll be like Amit's talking to whoever your being is, and there's this, okay, well, that's kind of fun. Because the interesting thing is we've done this a couple of times with another channel, and it's really fascinating to look at the conversations that play out.
Oh, wow.
We did it live in Fiji years ago.
You have it recorded so we could put the link down below?
It was never recorded.
Oh,
it was never recorded. So, So it's kind of interesting when two interdimensional cosmic beings come together, and it's almost like they sort of feed off each other, but it gives more of a let's imagine like a three-dimensional view of stuff, right? When you're listening to one being, some people really get it, some people don't really get it, because it's sort of a bit two-dimensional in a way, right? It's not really, because it's still multi-dimensional. But when you have two beings together, it's like, maybe it's like stereo. It's like all of a sudden you hear stereo. And so it often activates all sorts of different things when you do that. So it's kind of fun to watch.
I'm very
so
excited.
Then if you think this is cool and you're getting lots out of it and it's powerful, wait till that happens, and then we'll see some all sorts of cool stuff happen.
How exciting. How exciting. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. So many exciting things are happening for all of us.
It's going to be amazing year. It's going to be so
amazing
much fun.
Thank you so much, Marcus, for bringing
in Amit
again. It was
Thank
a beautiful
Amit.
discussion.
Thank you, Eleni.
Thank you, Amit.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Marcus.
Hey, love it. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to Galactic Guidance. We hope that the messages that you receive from the higher realms have brought you clarity, insight, and comfort. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Remember to stay connected to your own inner guidance and trust the journey ahead.